Live? I'm live. I'm live. Okie dokie. Lots of stuff to talk about. Not only was the weekend full of boxing cards, but also it's just Tuesday, but we did have some news relating to other boxing events in the future, just like Keith Thurman versus Barrios. Love Santa Cruz is coming back. Josecito Lopez is coming back against someone who we thought was going to be facing uh, Keith Thurman. And of course, Spence versus Ugas. It's allegedly going to happen in March, and there's some mixed reactions about it. So, yes, we definitely have a lot to talk about. And of course, we're going to share some videos of like the cool action this weekend because there was a lot, and I know a lot of people have a really mixed also opinions on Jake Paul and what he does with boxing, but we're definitely going to be talking about that as well. We can either start with a Showtime card. I know there was a Fox card with David Morrell, I believe that's his name. 168. Really, really good. Like he looks like he's good. I know he only has about 4 or 6 fights, but he looks really, really good. That was on Fox, right? And then we had the Zone Golden Boy card with Zurdo Ceniza, Marlene Esparza. Who else was in that card? Rene Alvarado and Lamont Roach. And then we had Showtime, which was Jake Paul and the Woodley guy. And Amanda Serrano as well, you know, who a lot of us want to see fight Katie Taylor. And then I don't know who else was on the undercard. I wasn't really watching that one. I was at the Zurdo Ramirez fight in Texas, and we were watching the Jake Paul card on the laptop, but we weren't really paying that much attention because we were at the fight, right? We were watching what was in front of us, not necessarily what we see on the hold on, let me see. Can y'all hear me okay? Oh my god, why the heck is it so loud? Okay. Hello, hi Token. My day's good. I went to go get tested for COVID just because I've been traveling, and I did take a rapid test before getting on the plane just to confirm that I am negative. What the heck is this? What the fuck? But sorry, but I wasn't. So I just had to take another one just to double check.
And I got vaccinated.
And yeah, my boys got vaccinated. Can I say that without getting them on to? Yeah, so it was a good day. I really want to know what you guys think about the Jake Paul thing because I know there's people who feel differently about it. There's people who don't like Jake Paul who think he's just kind of a pest to the boxing community, especially boxing purists. They don't really want to have to deal with Jake Paul. But there's other people who are like, whatever, like these fights are gonna happen, and we might as well embrace them and just watch and entertain. And of course, there's people who say that the knockout was fake, right? There's always people who want to say that the see, there you go. There's one right there. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you're gonna have these kind of takes, like the oh this is rigged, have them privately. Like don't say that out loud because no offense, like that's kind of embarrassing. That's kind of embarrassing. Like there's a lot of things that boxing needs to be brought awareness to. Like there's a lot of corruption. Women's boxing, you know, the women get paid much less. Sometimes they don't get paid at all. Judges are fucking crazy sometimes. Those are things to bring up. But if you have a take like this, that's pretty. I don't know. That's pretty sad. No offense. That's so sad. Like, let's look at this fixed knockout, shall we? Very fake, very fixed. Just you could tell that the guy voluntarily wanted to go face down like that and have penguin feet. Just completely fixed, you guys. Fixed. I think I don't know if I would say jealous. I think rightfully so, right? it's easy to it's I understand them simply because if they took let's say the real boxers, right? We can only put quotation on the real boxers. They actually take a lot of years off of their, sometimes since the start childhood, the teenage years, even growing up years to be giving a lot of their normal lives away to train, right? So it must be frustrating to know that you gave up so much in your life to watch this YouTuber just come up and make millions. Meanwhile, you can't get a break, and you don't seem to have the same type of respect in the boxing business side of it, even though you have given everything, right? You have sacrificed a lot of things. So I understand that aspect of it. I understand boxers doing that, like thinking that way. I get it. Um, but I think the only thing I find it weird about the whole Jake Paul thing is why are his fights on BoxRec? I don't think Jake Paul's fights should be on BoxRec. He's not fighting real boxers. Maybe if he had fought Tommy Fury like he had originally, um, he should have, like that should be sanctioned and it should be on BoxRec. But Jake Paul should not have a BoxRec. He's fighting other YouTubers. He's fighting combat sports artists. He's fighting basketball players. Like, there's no reason why this guy has to have, um, like it doesn't have to be a BoxRec for this guy, especially if it's exhibitions, right? That I don't understand. And I know people, that's the criticism right now with Jake Paul too, is like, well, why doesn't he fight a real boxer? Like, he should fight a real boxer. He needs to fight a real boxer. And let's remember that he was supposed to, right? Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, who is, you can say, in the same level as he is, in the way that they both have about 4 fights, right? Tommy Fury has about 4 or 5 fights, right? And Jake Paul was supposed to fight him, right? And what it should have been an even matchup, because again, both of these guys have only 5 professional fights. The only difference is that Tommy Fury has real boxers on his resume. Those 5 fights have been against real boxers. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been fighting basketball players and YouTubers and everything else, right? So I don't think there should be a BoxRec for those. I think his BoxRec should only be if he ever fights a real boxer and if he continues to keep fighting real boxers, which he doesn't have to do. He doesn't have to do that. Jake Paul can be fucking doing his money shit, doing his own thing, fighting YouTubers, fighting fucking Connor McMuffin if he wants to, like, it's fine. But then, it's not the same thing, and it's an audience for everything, right? Boxing purists are gonna be like, that shit's fake. Oh, that shit's staged. Like, that's so embarrassing when I see people say shit like that. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. But it's okay to dislike it, right? Like, if you're a boxing purist, it's okay to hate Jake Paul. Just don't watch it, right? You don't have to watch it. You don't have to like it. You can boycott it. There's an audience for everything. There's an audience for everything. And I'm gonna tell you this: that the Zurdo Ramirez fight in San Antonio was pretty dead. There wasn't that many people, and most of the people got there for the main event only. Jake Paul had people in there since the card started, and that tells you something. Sports X with Troy says his fights are on Boxer. Yeah, they are sanctioned. The thing is that they shouldn't. Like, I don't think they should be, because they're not against other boxers. They're against, and they're coined exhibitions, right? It's kind of like a branched out of the boxing. They're doing boxing, right? But it's not necessarily against other boxers. So yes, it is because they are doing it and yeah, that too, that's my point. Those, in my opinion, shouldn't count, because you see Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., you see Travieso Arce, they fought each other. I don't think their fights are on BoxRec. I don't think those fights are in BoxRec, right? Because they're not current, they're not real, like, you know what I mean? Dude, I would, at this point, Irving, I would love that because Chavez Jr. just won in Peru, right? He was like, fine. Oh, where was he? Somewhere over there, Latin America. And good for him. He won. You know, he deserved it after a fucking year like that he's had. But at this point, I feel like that's all he's gonna get. Either he's gonna keep fighting guys in other countries, and we're just gonna be like, okay, or he can fight Jake Paul and make a lot of money, and in the process, just people already see Chavez Jr. as a clown. You might as well throw him into the circus of what is, these, fake, people like call them fake boxing matches, right? And this would be Jake Paul's first boxer because Tommy Fury didn't want none. Y'all guys have to realize that this guy took the fight in 2 weeks' notice. And again, like, if you're going to fake a KO or fake a result of a match, you don't think they'd be like, hey, let's stop it or let's do like a fake body shot? Why do you really are y'all that fucking, like, no offense, but dumb that you guys think that a guy will be like, oh yeah, sure, knock me the fuck out so I can land straight the fuck on my face on the canvas and be there for like a minute and my fucking feet looking like Pingu the penguin? No, if you're gonna fucking say, oh yeah, let's fake a KO body, all you have to do is touch it to the body and I could be on the floor fucking acting like I'm a salted snail, like just all over the floor. That would have been believable. That would have been a knockout. No one volunteers for this shit. You're like, oh, money. He was already getting paid. These people are already getting paid. It's dumb that people see this type of knockout and him going down the way that he did and say that it's staged. Like that, and that only tells me that people don't really watch boxing. Like the only people that I've seen, I don't know who you guys are, what you look like, outside of this YouTube space, but online, like let's say Twitter and Instagram, the only people I see saying that this is staged is people who don't watch boxing. It's people who just tuned in because this is a big name, right? Like this is a big name now because this motherfucker came into boxing all fucking randomly. So now that's the only people. Is you can see, if you can see, he feints. Like Jake Paul feint, like he pretends he's going to the body and he goes up to the top. That's a boxing move. Look at how it looks like he's going to the body. And then he brings it up to the top. That's why Woodley, who's also not a boxer, so he's not going to be able to recognize these things. Shit, not a lot of boxers don't recognize when someone's doing a feint or someone's, pretending to go to the body and then goes to the top. You guys know who else does that? Right? Like, if you see this and you think this is staged, you need Jesus in your life. But, against Amir Khan. I like it or not, highlight reel kills like that are big new eyes. Yeah, I mean, I think it gets harder and harder to dislike Jake Paul when you look at it objectively. Again, I don't think he's a real boxer. I don't think he's gonna fight a real boxer anytime soon. And if he does, it's gonna be someone like Tommy Fury, who is, again, has the same amount of matchups as him. And Tommy Fury, having fought his first round opponents, who we know when someone's on the come up, they're not fighting the best opposition. So they're both kind of in the same space there, Both Tommy Fury and Jake Paul have similar records because even though Tommy Fury fought real fighters, it's been guys that he's supposed to beat in order to be getting, a nice little record padding, right? Which all guys do as soon as they start. Nobody fights guys with winning records or no losses or some losses. Like, it's very rare. It's always more losses than wins, or it's somebody who may have like wins but doesn't have knockout power. These are the type of guys that usually put up and comers against, right? So with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, I feel like that would be very similar. Like, as Joseph says, I would think that's more of a 50-50. But Chavez Jr., I think that'd be funny as hell because even though Chavez Jr. is a real boxer and is a former champion and the son of a legend, we know that he's on some other shit. Like, the dude needs help. I don't think the dude should be fighting anymore. But if he is gonna be fighting, he might as well be making a lot of money and be getting more eyes to the sport. What I like about Jake Paul is that he's himself taking like deduction in his own purse to pay the fighters in his undercards, right? He got Amanda Serrano and he's been, giving her paydays that otherwise she didn't have in women's boxing, right? And the thing is about Jake Paul is that like you can dislike him and again we don't consider him a real boxer, right? At least I don't. But there's something that he does is he does take training seriously, and you can see that. You can see that he does take training seriously because when he was gonna fight that YouTuber guy, he got Shane Mosley to be in his corner. And if you at least have one camp with Shane Mosley, I feel like that's pretty fucking good. Like you're getting really lucky, right? If you got Shane Mosley at least teaching you a thing or fucking two. And also he trains. He's an athletic guy. Like he's buff, he's athletic, he's learned to throw a punch. He clearly has some type of power to be sleeping dudes like this because one thing is maybe, he's not a real boxer, he can't box, but power's there. Not everybody's gonna come in here and knock these dudes out. Maybe beat them up real good. We saw it with that. I don't know if you guys saw the TikToker card. I saw it because my kids like TikTokers. So I saw that card, and you didn't see guys sleeping each other. You saw guys fighting, and it wasn't, stupid and entertaining at the same time, but they didn't knock each other out like that. Nobody got on the floor slept. So you know that there's power here. That's right. I don't get it. It's always something, right? Whenever there's a big fight, there's always someone saying, "Oh, that was staged. Oh, that was rigged." I think it happens more with Jake Paul because he's such an unlikable character, and I can understand why he's unlikable. I don't like dislike him, but I don't like him, But it's getting harder to dislike him, It's just people who say it's staged. They're fucking dumb. No offense. Like y'all smoking dick. The Furies be known duckers. If that's Dillian White? You think anybody gives a fuck about Dillian White? I know I don't. Dillian White? Who gives a fuck about Dillian White? He is like the most disliked character of all time. I don't like Dillian White. I don't care if Tyson Fury fights him or not, to be honest. And I wouldn't hold it against Tyson Fury if he doesn't fight Dillian White. I don't care. I didn't care about fucking Wilder not fighting Dillian White. One of my favorite moments ever is Povetkin knocking out Dillian White. Like it or not, Jake is helping, especially when. Yeah, I think I really like that about Jake Paul. That he's been kind of making sure that Amanda Serrano's getting paid. And if Amanda Serrano fights Katie Taylor, I feel like that's gonna be a huge fight. And honestly, I can't wait. You know what? Like, I don't like saying that because I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what the circumstances may be as to why. But it seemed like it because it seemed like Tyson. Tommy Fury was never in any rush to want to fight Jake Paul, and it was more of like trash talking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's probable that he did. Lucky would love to see, dude. I would pay for that. I would fucking pay for that. Like if they put that like a stacked ass card with like, but this is the main event, bro. Because again, I don't think Chavez Jr. should be fighting. And I think at this point, people are just exploiting his last name to sell cards, especially in Latin America. But if he is going to keep fighting, then fuck it. Fight Jake Paul. Like, come on, let's do it. Oh, God, no. I don't think Canelo would do that. I don't think él se vaya a prestar a eso, Two, Canelo would kill Jake Paul. Like I said, Jake Paul's not a real boxer. Let's remember that.
I was about to say, put a match against Canelo and Jake Paul. Jake Paul's losing.
Yeah, Jake Paul's not a real boxer, guys. Tommy Fury, Jake Paul can fight Tommy Fury. Jake Paul could fight Chavez Jr. Jake Paul could fight like I don't know some other washed fighter. If Jake Paul's gonna be going to the fighting the real boxers, then he should take the same route as guys who are on the come up. Fight guys that are not really, winners. But at the same time, who's going to pay for that? Nobody's going to pay for that. And I think Jake Paul's in this to make money, not to fight real boxers. Let's see. Why you don't have to be here? You can get out. I don't mind it. I don't hate you if you leave. You can leave. It's not a problem to me. I'm not gonna get butthurt. I promise. You can leave. It's in the boxing podcast because it is a boxing match. It might not be against a boxer, and it also brings in points which we talked about on how other boxers react to things like this, on how it would be if he were to keep making moves with women's boxing, especially Amanda Serrano. So I might not consider him a real boxer, but his mere presence in the boxing world and its association with how boxers react to him, the way that he's taking pay cuts so his undercard fighters can get paid, and his contributions to women's boxing by making sure that Amanda Serrano gets paid, those are boxing related. So I'm sorry I had to put 2 and 2 together for you, but there you go. You mean Bivol? So let's actually see. The thing with Bivol is that Bivol has no sense of urgency, right? Like if you watch Bivol, Bivol has no sense of urgency. Bivol basically does sparring sessions with guys, and he's very technical. He puts on clinics. But he doesn't seem at any point that he has any urge to want to hurt you, right? Like Bivol, no, I hate using this word, but Bivol is pretty boring. Not because he's a tactical fighter, but because he sees people who are not hurting him. His opponents are not hurting him. His opponents are not bringing anything to the table to be like, oh, like this guy might hurt me if I do this. He just chooses to spar them, and it's pretty annoying. What the heck? And it's pretty annoying, right? So I think that's why with Bivol, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said that Bivol beats Zurdo. But now I think it's closer because even though Zurdo got hit a lot in this fight, and he did, especially in the first round, he was getting hit pretty cleanly by Gonzalez, right? But that was his name, right? I forgot. And I was there. But from ringside, it seemed like the first 2 rounds, Zurdo was getting hit way too much. And then after that, yes, he was getting hit, but it was also, he was the one putting his opponent in trouble. And I don't know how this dude didn't buckle. Like, he was obviously hurt. He was, like, wobbling to his corner. But he was never dropped, and that's crazy. Like, he has a really good chin. And let's remember that this guy, his only other loss was to Bozdik, and Bozdik had knocked him out. But that's it, right? So Zurdo did look very hittable. Like he was there to be hit, but he did have some decent head movement regardless. And he does have that drive to want to finish things. So I feel like both Bivol and Zurdo have not fought anybody like each other, right? Bivol has just fought guys who he can just outbox and that don't pressure him, and it turns into a sparring session. And then Bivol, with Zurdo has never fought anybody who's as tactical as Bivol, right? So that's why that makes that fight so intriguing. And now Zurdo is going to be his mandatory, right? It's going to be, after winning this fight, Zurdo is now officially the WBO mandatory, and now Bivol has to fight him, right? So let me go back to the comment. Can Ceniza Estrada? No, because Ceniza Estrada is 105 pounds. Yeah, weight classes exist in women's boxing too, okay? Keep that in mind. Women's boxing does have weight classes too. You can't just be like, tiny ass 105-pound Estrada, go fight Amanda Serrano. Like, what the fuck? Are y'all okay? Jake Paul's a bit, I mean, maybe because he's a YouTuber, so he already had that YouTube. He already had millions of YouTube followers, so it's easy to transfer followers from one end to another end, especially when it's fighting. Because who doesn't want to see someone fight? Don't see Zurdo beating any other chance at 175. Well, the only chance at 175 are Smith Jr. I think with Smith Jr. should be a good fight. Smith Jr. didn't look that good in the last fight. Smith Jr. would be a great fight, and then with Berta Biev looked fucking good in his last fight. This past weekend, Berta Biev looked good. That's the one I forgot to put on the title. Berta Biev looked good. Yes. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. No. Oh my goodness. Yes. Saludos. Zurdo is a solid. I previously, especially at 168, I was never really impressed by Zurdo. I was never. I mean, he's a good fighter, but I was never like, wow, this guy does this so well, right? I think he would have had a better shot at 168 when Canelo wasn't in it. Obviously, he would be good to fight. Let's say him and Benavidez would be good, right? Ramirez versus Benavidez, both guys just coming forward. It would be a good fight, but at 175, you got guys who he shouldn't be taking those type of punches that he took this weekend against those other guys, right? Cenice, bro, weight classes exist in women's boxing. Cenice Estrada is 105. Y'all. Oh, yes, Pickles.
Mom, what did they say?
They said Viva Pickles. Piccolina, because I told them Pickles was missing. Hello, Feliz Navidad.
Well, good thing she came back.
Yes, she came back.
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad. Dude, I know. Sort of didn't. Dude,
Feliz
that shit.
Navidad.
I saw that in person, and I'm like that fact that he didn't even get cut. He didn't lose any teeth. He didn't get I mean, that's good that they wear those mouth guards, right? But fuck, that shit was right in the jaw. That's like un putazo to the jaw, but with your head. That shit hurt. Felix Navidad. I don't even have a tree up, you guys. I don't even have a tree up this year. I didn't even put a tree. So, Televisa Serrano for yes. Thank you for Feeling. I love it. I love that. Yes. Viva Tito. Tito. I like him. Yeah, that should be good, right? I think Zurdo has the tools to do it, but I think he just needs to not get hit as much, Oh my God. Matt wants to be in every chat room throwing that Benavidez hate. Matt, I took a rapid test and I'm negative, but I am waiting actual COVID test, and if I'm negative, which I'm pretty sure I am because I don't have any symptoms, we should get coffee sometime this week or next week or for the New Year week. And let me know how I buy your book, because that's what I was going to ask you. Do you want me to buy it online or just give you the money when we meet? Tank versus Cruz sold 52,000. Who put out the numbers? Or are you quoting what's his name? The guy from Twitter, Rick Laser? Because if you're quoting him, maybe you shouldn't.
Wait, Mom.
What is that? No, and it is going to be spiced up because we have Bumgarner, who's going to supposedly fight, ¿cómo se llama? The girl from Top Rank, Michaela Meyer. That should be good because those girls are talking shit to each other 24/7 on social media. And I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Bumgarner versus Michaela Meyer. And then, of course, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. And they both have very similar styles, right? Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. Amanda's I think she's more clean with her punches, though. I do feel like Amanda sets up her combinations better. She's less sloppy with it. Katie Taylor's kind of just I'm going to go over here and throw putazos. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just think compared to Amanda Serrano has more of a crisper, accurate way of punching. Women's boxing. Oh, all right. Happy holidays. Say happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Mom, can we open a present?
Marlene was also she started in lower weight classes, and we know that Sanisa jumps up. She has been jumping kind of from divisions, but it should be. I don't think that's more of a stretch going. And then going up to fighting Amanda Serrano. You guys are crazy. Y'all are weird.
Mom.
Como dice Polly, you don't get laid. Huh? Chavez Jr. versus Paul is better than Canelo Macaboo. I ain't playing either. I would rather watch. Yeah, I would rather.
Among
I agree.
fans. Look what I can do.
Oh my goodness. Thoughts on Edgar Berlanga? Well, I mean, he's a contender, right?
You said nothing.
Edgar Berlanga is a contender. Yes, you did. I heard you. Please stop, okay? Edgar Berlanga is a contender, so he didn't look his best in his last fight. He actually got dropped. And I know people are going to make fun of him because of how much Top Rank was hyping him up and how he was called a monster and how much shit he talks. He tried to ask, he tried to say that he would be Canelo. So I just think that hopefully that kind of got him to just like shut up a little bit. But I mean, he's okay. Like he clearly has power, but it's not just about having power. It's about hopefully having a chin so that just like how you can dish it, you can take it, right? Sanisa definitely can rematch Marlene, and she did say that she would rematch her, right? I love that Sanisa's always throwing shit at Marlene. It's such an East Los shit to do. Remember when they both fought right here at the Bank of California Stadium? Sanisa said she would catch Marlene outside of the parking lot right there and then, right? And then in this one, she's like talking shit to Marlene, right? I love it. I love for the shade. I love for these bitches being petty. And post fight, Sinise actually said that she would give Marlene a rematch. Oops. Let me share a video of Sinisa. I think Sinisa did really well as well. Do I even have a video? I thought I had a video. I guess I don't. I thought I had a video of Sinisa. Is it this one? Yeah, it is. Okay. And she did really well, right? Oops. She did really well. Oh my god, that is so fucking loud. I don't know how to take that off. I'm sorry. There we go. Let's see. So she dropped her opponent 3 times, and all 3 times she dropped her kind of like, like hard. And this was when it finally got stopped, but she had already dropped her twice previously. And the thing is that Sanisa was also getting caught pretty, she got caught pretty good by her opponent's shots, and her opponent was an undefeated champion as well, right? So they were both undefeated going in. Sanisa caught her 3 times, and it was just, Sanisa deserves at this point, she deserves the main event. She deserves to have her little shine as well, even if it's like an LA card. I think it would do well. Sanisa is really fun. She always makes for fun fights, and she is supposed to fight the IPF champ for that division as well. Unieska, I think her name is. And she's been attending events, trying to promote herself as well. So that should be up next. And Sanisa kind of said the same thing after the fight. Glazer has always been Barb. No, I don't think so. He's been really I would not trust him as a source. I'm not saying the numbers are high or low. I just think that if Rick Glazer is your guy, maybe you should not be that your guy. Who would give Canelo a fight? Berta Biab or Bivol? I don't know, because like I said, I like people and he does put on some clinics, but also he doesn't seem to have any dog in him. But maybe he needs those guys to pressure him in order to get the dog out of him, right? I think Berta Biab, because Berta Biab, I know Berta Biab didn't look good in March of this year, but I think that's because he had gotten COVID, right? And now, like in his last fight, I think he looks so well. But what do you think? What do you think? Because again, I like people and I used to love him so much. But now I'm just like, damn, like I got really upset at his last fight because I'm like, Bivol, like this guy is not giving you anything. Like this guy that you're fighting, he doesn't seem to have pop behind his punches. He doesn't seem to be quicker than you. He doesn't seem to be more accurate than you. What's stopping you from getting on his ass? Like I think he got on his ass on like the 8th round, I think, for a little bit, and then that was that. Like I know that the people were like supporting him there, but I don't know how they were having fun watching that. Benavides versus Zurdo, that would be lit. That's why I hope Benavides kind of goes to like 175 because he would be so good there. Like not good, like, but he would be, I think, more at an actual weight class where he's not like killing himself to make the weight. Poppy's Chavez Jr. His is great. Hey, there's nothing wrong with ballerinas, and there's nothing wrong with dudes doing ballet. But um, I would love to see that. I would love to see that fight. No, I'm gonna lie. I would love to see that.
Nothing wrong with anything of that.
Mm-mm. Where should Virgil Senior take his son to train? I don't think Manny Robles is a good fit. I'm not. No, no. Let me rephrase that. I don't think Manny Robles is a much different fit than what he already had with Robert Garcia. I believe, there's similar styles in the way that they don't prioritize defense, right? They're more of like using your assets to better execute your own style, right? All of You don't see a guy in Robert Garcia's gym who's like this tactical guy, right? That's not where they're at. That's not, they're more like, we're gonna teach you how to better use your own style, your own come forward aggressiveness to better and your opponent, right? Manny Robles is pretty similar. Like, he had Oscar Valdez, he had Jesse Magdaleno, he had Andy Ruiz, he had a lot of, before basically all the Espinosa fighters, before the Espinosa fighters went away. And he had Dominic Brazil for a while. He had, now he has like Marcos Maidana's little brother. And you don't see these guys teaching much defense, or not teaching it, but not prioritizing it. So I think the thing that Virgil gets criticized for in his come up is his lack of defense. And I don't think that Manny Robles would be the guy to go to for that. You know what I mean? I think they could do just fine. Yeah, Virgil Senior, he has more than enough tools in his toolbox, and he's good enough to just be with his son, as well as Hector Beltran. Both great trainers, both great coaches. I think them on their own are okay, but I think if I think Virgil's so young that he still could absorb from other trainers. And I think it should be normalized to switch trainers. It should be normalized to switch up trainers. Like, once you learned enough from one trainer, you can say, oh, well, thank you for teaching me this. I'm going to go to another trainer that maybe has a different style, and go as, learn as you go. I'm pretty sure most splits are amicable between trainers and fighters, but I think it should be less about this fighter left this trainer. It shouldn't be that way. It should be like, okay, like, that they learn enough, let them rotate, you know, until feel like they become a complete fighter. If JR loses, the reaction senior, he would be memed for life, and he's already memed for life. That's already a meme. Senisa says she's down for a rematch, but not with that throwing. That was freaking amazing, though. I love Senisa. She's like such. Every time she talks like them, like, that's the East Los in her. Like, she is so freaking petty. She did, yeah. She got up, but she was. There's a way that you fought when you get like fucking hit like that, you know. How do you spell? I don't know, which is fucked up because I interviewed her. Unieskis. I'm gonna look her up. I know she's on Instagram. I interviewed her. I'm gonna put the interview up because the video's already edited. I just fucking suck at uploading shit. But I know she's with Marv Nation, which is like it's a local promoter. So let me share my screen so we can do this together. Um, yeah, it's a local promoter, and they signed her over here. I believe she's from Costa Rica and Nicaragua, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that shit because sometimes I'm wrong. Let's see. UNESCO, I think it's her. Yocasta. Yocasta. I'm sorry. But this is the IPF champion for the current weight class that Sanisa's in. And yeah, so she just recently I believe this weekend too, she she just fought as well. And yeah, that's her. She's this very beautiful lady. and she's the IBF champion. So dang, the girl she fought was buff. Look at the girl she's fought. Look at her muscle. I mean, they're both pretty buff, but god damn. So she recently won and should be good to go to fight Sinisa. Hopefully, sometime in the spring of next year. That's funny. She got McDonald's after she won. So this is her. If you guys want to follow her, I did interview her. I will put it up on the channel tonight or tomorrow. So you guys can check it out. But this is who Sinisa's fighting, and hopefully that's here in LA. I would love for that to be here in LA because, like I said, she's just signed to Marv Nation, which is a local promoter here in LA, and it'd be a good homecoming for Sinisa to unify some titles. So that's when I interviewed her. I interviewed her at the Munguia fight, and I haven't uploaded. Palco verga. So that's her, and that's, as you can see, that's her social. Is it Ferco Box? I think that's what you mean. I think you're talking about Ferco Box, but I'm not sure. Lee says, I think Bivol would, because he fights kind of fight ring generalship of the tons. Yeah, his jab is definitely dangerous. He doesn't care whether he excites or not. Bertabiev is older, and he's looked questionable, and he has been down before, right? Bertabiev has been down a couple times before, so you're right. I just feel like Bivol, he's just like, I want him to show me something. And he's also a smaller guy, right? I don't know why Bivol doesn't go to 168. He's a smaller guy. I feel like he'd beat ass at 168. Virgil needs to go to Reynoso or Salas. Yeah, but I think with the Reynoso, I believe it's becoming so saturated, right? Like there's so many fighters over there. I think it would be a good trainer to teach him, crisper combinations, maybe obviously defense, right? But also it's just, like fuck. How many replace Ryan with Virgil. So he's not just taking up space. How many trades did Jesse Vargas go through? I don't know. Fuck him. Maybe that's what Sinisa rubs me the wrong way, Mike. Oh my god. Oh my god. No le eches la culpa. Did you see Castaño said he hasn't received? Yeah, he said that, and that's kind of sad, because that fight needs to happen, bro. Like, and it happened in the summer, like the first one. The second one should have already been made, and they should have already been in the works to be announced, like, already. Robert Garcia, Joel Diaz, and eventually talked after Virgil Ortiz. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's okay to leave, and it's okay for it to be amicable, especially younger guys, right? Like younger guys, they deserve to test out their limits and test out who they feel more comfortable with. It shouldn't be like this big fucking deal. I agree. I definitely agree. This weekend, I believe we don't have much going on, do we? What's going on this weekend? What the hell is going on? Oh, I know PBC is throwing a Christmas card, but I'm not too big on that. Let's look. Let's look. Oh, also Chisora Parker won. I don't really care about that though. No offense. There's not much. Yeah, it's just like that card from PBC. And yes, Christmas Day on Fox. Yes, that I feel like we should watch it because us Latinx, we celebrated on Christmas Eve. Like for Latinx and Hispanics, like we celebrate Christmas Eve, right? Like that's when we get faded. We get faded as fuck on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is more of like a chill day, a recalentado day. Like you're eating leftovers with the family. You're just chilling, So I think why not? If it's Christmas Day, I'm gonna be watching it. What else the fuck else am I gonna be doing? I'm gonna be fucking drinking still probably. And yes, Luis Ortiz. I just wish that wasn't a pay-per-view. Like it's none of them are title matches. So why is this a pay-per-view? Good fights, right? They're good fights. It's good fights. I'm not mad at it. Charles Martin versus King Kong. Not mad at it. The guy from Canelo team, the Cuban guy, what's his name? The Cuban heavyweight? I forgot his name. He's on it. That's good. But why is it $50? I don't want to spend my New Year's spending $50. I already spent all this fucking money on Christmas presents, so I don't want to do that. Can you guys hear my kids talking on the Fortnite game? I didn't even say that, so you're begging to be triggered and react a certain way because I didn't even use the word Latinx. I don't know. You must be so desperate to be triggered that you heard me say that. That's not even what I said. But if an X bothers you on a letter, on a letter on a word bothers you, pobrecito, que te siga ardiendo el culo, because. And then there's Boxing Day, which I oh yeah, that's what my we have a calendar and we saw it said Boxing Day and my kids are like, oh, is that the national day for boxing? I'm like, no, that's like presents, Christmas. I don't, but yes, essentially, right? Like essentially, why not? I always watch in the holidays. I always watch my Donna versus Broner too, just because I know it's like weeks before Christmas that it's the anniversary of it. But I just always watch it just because it's such a funny freaking thing. I watched the whole thing, the whole build up to it. I watched the all access for it. I watched the pro epilogue. I watch everything. The weigh-ins. It makes me so happy to watch that shit. Travis, I would love that. I would love that. Frank Sanchez. Yes, thank you, said Hector. Frank Sanchez is the guy who's gonna be on it. So again, great cards. Great cards. But I'm not gonna like I don't wanna pay $50 for it. These guys, why am I spending New Year's on my first decision of the year is to spend $50 on that? I already spent so much money on Christmas presents. I think it's a good fight. Are you going to Fresno? I wanted to go to Fresno for the Jose Ramirez card. I really wanted to go. But I think I'm gonna go to Thurman versus Barrios just because I haven't seen Keith Thurman in a long time. And because my best friend, who you guys know most likely if you're on Twitter, is Miguel. His favorite fighter is Keith Thurman. So I gotta go be moral support for him if just in case Keith Thurman loses. I gotta be there to like tap him in the back and give him some drinks so he forgets. But yeah, I think they're both good fights. They're good cards. I just don't think the Thurman card should be a pay per view either. I don't think that should be a pay per view. But that's just me though. I don't know. What are we going? The first, I don't know. Let's look into the schedule, shall we? Let's look into the schedule because I know that Keith Thurman versus Barrios is happening. We know that um Pedraza versus Jose Ramirez is happening, right? Let's see. Let's look at the boxing schedule. That's what we're gonna do. So says key days. We have Joe Smith Jr. versus Caleb Johnson. That's gonna be Smith's first title defense for his WBO light heavy. Wait, WBO? What? I thought. See, okay, I'm fucking annoyed. I thought the WBO was the Bulls, but now that I think about it, no, that's a WBA, right? Right? So then Zurdo's WBA mandatory? I thought he was WBO mandatory. I'm confused. So February 5, Fresno, Jose Ramirez versus Jose Pedraza. I wish we knew what the undercard was. Maybe we do. Let's go down and scroll. But that's going to be a good card. It's a good comeback fight for Jose Ramirez, who just lost to, well, not just, but he lost to Josh Taylor. It was a pretty close fight up until, besides the knockdowns, right? It was a pretty good fight. And Jose Pedraza, he's kind of like seasoned already. We've seen the best of Jose Pedraza, but I think he's still there enough to make this, kind of an okay fight. And on February 26th, Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall, 12 rounds for, to become undisputed, basically. That's just as mandatory. I believe he had to be pushed back, right? Jamal Charlo versus Brian Castaño. Oh, shit, what the hell? Didn't y'all just say there was nothing about it? 12 rounds, and that's supposedly February 26th. Bro, I'm there. If that happens, I would love to be there. I would love to be in Houston. I've never been to Houston. I've been to Frisco, Fort Worth, Dallas, and now San Antonio. I went to San Antonio this weekend. I would love to go to Houston for this one. So let's see. This weekend we have. Wait, no, that was today. Today we have boxing today. Oh my god, I feel like a casual. So December 25th. So that's the Fox card. Vito Mielnicki Jr. versus Nicholas Zalomba, 10 rounds. And then Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer's a like 19-year-old who got married and like he fights in the PBC cards all the time. He's okay. I'm not like too impressed by him just yet. December 25th is also we have a Russian card. Oh, Gassiev. I didn't know Gassiev was fighting. Gassiev versus Andrei Rudenko, 12 rounds heavyweights. And you know that Gassiev used to be a cruiserweight, and he also moved up. He actually moved up way before Usyk did, right? But Usyk's the one that done the most. He's been injured. Gassiev's been injured. It's just all this shit. So yeah, Hollywood, Florida, January card. Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin, 12 rounds. Charles Martin is so funny to me because he talks so much shit to Anthony Joshua just to get got in like 3 rounds. Oh, it's the IBF heavyweight eliminator. I don't think an eliminator fight should be a pay-per-view. Frank Sanchez versus Carlos Negron. And yeah, there's all these other. Yeah, there's not really much going on the first few weeks. There's not much going on the first few weeks of the year. Which, yeah. Joe Smith Jr. in the second week. Chris Eubank Jr., I guess, if you're into that. Savannah Marshall, who we want to fight. Clarissa Shields. Yeah, the first month's not going to be all there. Makabu, if you guys want to see Makabu, Canelo's probable opponent in January 29th. You can see, and maybe you can find out for yourself if you feel like he has a chance against Canelo. So Fresno, February 5th. I would have loved to gone to this fight, but I'm going to have to go to Keith. Jose Ramirez, Jose Peraza, Richard Torres, Raymond Murataya, Carlos Valderas. Yeah, the usual top rank openers. Oh, Jesse Vargas is fighting versus Liam Smith? Didn't that already happen? Or who did Liam Smith fight? I don't remember. Who did Liam Smith fight? Oh, no, that's Munguia. Anyway, fuck Jesse Vargas. He's a Republican who believes in more ICE and more police, so he can suck my dick. Sarang Vasai versus Carlos Cuadras. That should be good. I love me those guys. Sarang Vasai, Carlos Cuadras, McWilliams Arroyo, obviously Chocolatito, and Gallo. All of them together. I like it. Daniel Jacobs is coming back in February against John Ryder. John Ryder, a lot of people believe, beat Caleb Smith. Should be a good fight. I haven't seen Daniel Jacobs ever since he, in my opinion, lost to Gabe Rosado back in like that was like November of 2020. And yeah, American versus Kell Brook. I don't know how excited y'all are about that. I think February is going to be much better than January. January, we're not going to really have much. And then we have Josh Taylor, Charlo unification. So hopefully, that's kind of it for now. Not much for the first month. Not much for the... Oh my God, you can't even see me. Not much for the first month, though. Do you know? No, I don't know that. I'll try to ask Hector. See if he tells me now. One of my favorite builders, whoever is Kovalev, the win. I don't remember that. What happened? I want to know. I forgot. And I was there, but I was in Vegas and I was drinking. As Chat Master Ernie says, my Donna Bruno is the only good one. Yes, Ernie is right. It is just history, period. And it is like watching Christmas movies. It makes you feel warm inside. I just want to announce with versus Barrios. Yeah. So I knew about that way before, but it was initially rumored that Keith Thurman was going to fight Abel Ramos, but Abel Ramos is now fighting Jose Lopez. Keith once upon a time. Keith sometimes Thurman. Yeah, I don't think those fights should be pay-per-view either. Yes, that is my bestie. Hey, what's up? I seen you at the Crawford. Oh, hello. I was there at the Crawford Porter fight, and I believe that's where the Thurman and Barrios fight is going to be, right at the MGM. I know, at the Mandalay Bay. Michelob Ultra Arena or whatever. But yeah, I'm always at fights, and now I have purple hair. So if you see me, say hi. I'm not mean. Keith fights once a decade. Hey, he got injured. You know, he got injured. Best noob alive. Not to. Yeah, I mean, I would have rather it be like any other welterweight, right? Like B-level welterweight. But like, why Barrios coming up? But hey, you gotta give it to Barrios because this is his third consecutive pay per view. Motherfucker was in the Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz pay per view, so he got the bag there. He had his own pay per view against Tank, so he got the bag there. And now he got on a fucking main event pay per view with Keith Thurman. Like you gotta at least be happy for the dude because he's not a boring guy, you know. He's not a boring guy. So yes, Joe Smith beat Maxim for the WBO. Canelo by Canelo. Yeah, he vacated it, and then Bebo's a WBA super champ at 174. Okay, so who the fuck told me that it was a WBO mandatory for this? So Zurdo is the WBA mandatory now, not WBO. Lee, I don't know. See, this is why I shouldn't drink at fights. I need to learn to not drink at fights because this is why it just fucks me up. Remata, yes. The usual. Dude, I know this is way past their prime and is washed versus washed at this point, but I'm ready for it. I don't care if people criticize this shit. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see someone go down. I'm guessing Amir Khan gets dropped. No, he can suck my ass. I don't know, but he is 100% fascist. You didn't see his campaign? He talks about he talks against critical race theory, and then he says that we need more cops and more border patrol. I'm like, bro, do you know Chino Palon? Not just that, fuck him. Just fuck him. Hi, Javi. ¿Cómo estás, Javi? I think the reason for just fighting McKinsey is because he has a new team. We know he left. Yeah, but I don't think that has anything to do with it because, I mean, actually, yeah. But I don't know. I think his dad and Hector Beltran are good enough to guide him through fights. They had before when the couple of times that Robert Garcia has not been in his corner. It hasn't just been once, right? And his dad and Hector Beltran got it. So I don't know, but I know his manager Rick Ramos, I think that's his name, right? He was saying that they were not gonna fight Aveniasa, I know what his name is. So I don't know. Mario told me at Jojo Haney fight Thurman, but he told me not to say anything. I don't know who Mario is. Sorry. I don't know who Mario is. I heard from other people. But yeah, they basically we knew that way before. No drinking and dude, I'm still wearing band-aids. Can I fucking I'm wearing band-aids. I love wearing heels, but they always give me fucking blisters. I don't care about height. I'll wear big ass heels, but it's the blisters that I hate. They always give me fucking blisters. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz is fighting. Ryan Garcia versus Isaac Cruz coming up. Probably. Mackenzie yeah, and also I heard he has like decent power, right? I heard he has like a decent poppy in his punches. But honestly, I'm not too familiar. What can you tell us about him, Lee? You're the the global champ. Okay. And I know Virgil has like a WBA like gold or some shit like that. Keith Thurman got Matthew McConaughey. Oh my god. I don't think he should have cut his hair. It's like that Bible story. What's that Bible story where the guy cut his hair or someone cut the guy's hair and he wasn't strong anymore? I feel like that happened with Keith. Tank don't want people. He's like, hell no. Yeah, 3 times Robert wasn't in the corner. Yeah, so it was amicable, but I do understand both sides. You know, obviously Robert felt the need that he had to go to the fight with his champion, right? And then in the fight where the previous had been pretty controversial, so he felt the need that he had to go with Franco, right? With Josh Franco. So I get it, but also it has to be frustrating for someone with Virgil with the caliber of fighter that he's already turning out to be, having to be put second all the time, you know? So yeah, I mean I get both sides, don't get me wrong. Definitely possible they don't add any more Samson. Yes, yes. See,
Yeah,
I remember all these Bible stories. Delilah cut his hair. She basically like got him, right? Like she tricked them, right?
Yes.
She tricked them.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
She tricked them. All these women are so rude on the Bible. If someone takes Keith's flute, they definitely y'all are so rude. Let them do extracurricular activity.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah, and he is. That's why I don't like when people are like, oh yay, like Latinas in Congress. Oh yay, Latinas in Senate. Oh yes, Latinas in government positions. Period. Like for what? They're still gonna be doing shitty shit. Like it's like discrimination, but make it diverse. Like I don't get it. Like you guys rather have someone who's like you and I deporting you than a white person. I feel like it's more fucked up. That is one of us. The Bible dude with the long hair is Samson. Se me había olvidado. I remember this from like childhood. I used to be very religious, obviously not by choice. Obviously, I grew up in a little rancho in Mexico, like 600 people tops, and we would go to church every Sunday. And over there, church was more like community, like it was nice environment. And I learned all the Bible stories, and I just forgot their names at this point. I should probably remember them again. Think we'll get Crawford? I think we should. And okay, let's move on and talk about that because I forgot to. I mentioned it at the beginning of the live, but let's talk about it, right? Because earlier, actually during the weekend, we saw that the WBA had officially told Ugas that okay, fine, we're not gonna make you fight this like weird eliminator shit, even though you're the champion. Um, the guy's taking step aside money. He's stepping aside. Now you can unify with Errol Spence. And I thought people would be like cool about that, but no, people are mad. People are big mad about Spence versus Ugas happening. And I quite honestly don't understand why. The only thing I can think of is like fanboyisms. People being fanboys and being mad about the fact that it's not Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. And I get it. As somebody who wants that fight so much, I get it. I get the frustration of being like, damn, we've been waiting fucking 2 years, 3 years for Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. We wanted this fight before the pandemic, right? Like, come on. But I don't get the outrage. I don't get the outrage because this is still a unification fight. It is a unification fight. Why would anybody bitch about a unification fight? Is beyond me. I don't understand. This is also a big fight. Errol Spence is not only coming off an eye injury, but most importantly, inactivity. This dude didn't fight in 2021. Errol Spence went a whole year without fighting. And the first guy he's going to take to come back is the guy who just beat Manny Pacquiao. And not just that, one of the top welterweights, because yes, obviously he's not up there with Errol Spence or Bud Crawford, but he's still a top guy and he's a champion. So I thought Errol Spence was going to take like the Adrian Granados of the PBC world, right? Like come back. Even Keith Thurman, like Keith Thurman's been inactive longer, so I don't understand the bitchiness, but it only comes from Crawford fans, not Crawford fans. Let me not say that. Crawford stands, Crawford fanboys, and I love Bud Crawford. And as someone who believes that Bud Crawford does beat Errol Spence, I don't understand why Bud Crawford fans are that fucking crazy. Like you can say, hey, I believe that Bud Crawford beats Errol Spence. That is a very valid opinion. But to try to dismiss Errol Spence's career and his accomplishments, to me, is fucking ridiculous. Because Bud Crawford at 147, he only has Porter, and that's a great name, and he beat him amazingly, and that's probably one of my favorite things of 2021, right? When they told him he was he was down on the scorecards, or he might be down on the scorecards. He's like, all right, bet. And he went and fucked Porter up, right? Amazing. Chef's kiss. I love that performance. But you have him, right? And if you're his fan and you're taking away from Errol Spence, who's been actively fighting top competition for the last couple years, I don't get it. And to me, you sound fucking stupid. I'm sorry. You sound dumb to be like, oh, Errol Spence, blah, blah, he sucks, or he doesn't want to fight Crawford. All it. Like, okay, you can say that. I feel like we should save that for if after he unifies and if he beats Ugas, if after that He doesn't say, I want one more belt. I want one more belt. Who has that belt? Bud Crawford. That would be amazing. They would make so much fucking money. They would make so much fucking money for a unification fight at 147. The two top guys, fucking Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. Huge money, huge payday, pay-per-view. All of that would be amazing. I feel like then if Errol Spence if he beats Ugas and he looks good and he doesn't fight Errol Spence, I mean Bud Crawford, or doesn't seem interested to fight Bud Crawford after that, then I'm gonna be like, fuck you, right? But at this point, I've not once ever seen either of these dudes necessarily enthusiastic about fighting one another. Errol Spence always talks about how he's the A side because he has more belts or he has the more viewership. He's had the pay-per-views with more viewership. He feels like he is the A side. He has more pay-per-view. He feels like he's the A side, right? He said that he wants to make the most money, right? Bud has multiple times said he's not interested in that fight and that he was moving on from it. Both of these guys are just as guilty for not fighting each other as the other. I'm not taking sides here. I love them both. I think Bud Crawford slightly, I have an edge over Errol Spence, especially given the inactivity, but to me it's like 55-45 because Errol Spence has the much better competition than Bud Crawford at 147. I just think Bud Crawford is a better fighter. And the inactivity and the car crash and the eye, all that shit might take a toll on Errol Spence. But I just don't get the fanboyisms. And everybody that I see is angry at this move is just Crawford stands who want to keep pushing the narrative that Errol Spence is ducking Crawford. And if you thought that Errol Spence was going to come back from a year of inactivity and an injury to go straight into the dog that is Bud Crawford, then you're just smoking dick. Like, we weren't going to get that. Like, what are you guys talking about? Right away? No. I will never, we'll never, it sucks, right? Crawford is 34 years old, and so it sucks. It sucks, like, you think about it, and I get the sentiments. We're all angry about it. This is like the new Mayweather versus Pacquiao, right? We're all angry about this. What I don't get is that, that whole rant that I just went on. I don't get the whole putting shit on Errol Spence over this or vice versa. It makes no sense. You can't say that this guy ain't shit or he's ducking whatever, and then when your guy beats him, think he's a shit. Like, both of these guys are great fighters. They're 1 and 2 for a reason. You can put them 1 and 2 interchangeably to your liking, and it would still be valid. I don't get why people are mad at a fucking unification fight. And I think Ugas said it best, right? If I'm not mistaken, Ugas on Twitter said, like, why are you guys mad at Errol Spence for fighting me? Like, I'm a champion. Like, the fuck? Like that one meme. Why are you booing me? I'm right. Like, I don't. Spencer's always a good fight. I don't get it. Like, boxing fans are never gonna be happy. Guys, they said Carson said he's proud of you for getting your vaccine. They said thank you. They were scared, but they made it through. Yeah, you're dumb. You can say that shit after the unification if it doesn't happen. Until now, I feel like y'all sound fucking
If your
corny.
kids ever if you have to give your kids the vaccine, like, just tell them that it's not scary and tell them that these kids did it.
Spence will fight, but if Spence wins, you have to fight man. But mandatories can be stepped aside, and mandatory, especially with those two, the only ones that are like super big about mandatories are the ABF. But nah. Brad Gomez, the matchmaker, wrote a really good tweet saying both fights want big guarantee. Yeah, I think it would be much better. Yeah, like with that belt, it'd be unification. My only concern is that Errol Spence will be like, I want more money because I have more belts, right? That's my concern from Errol Spence's side. My concern is that Errol Spence is gonna be like, I have more belts, I did more of the work by fighting more champions, so I deserve a bigger payday. And I kind of agree with him. I think it should be 50-50. This is the more 50-50 fight as it gets. But that's not realistic in boxing. So that's where I feel like we're gonna get stuck. The whole money thing. And it fucking sucks and it's stupid. But then I feel like then I'll be like, damn, okay, who's more at fault at this fight not happening? But again, like I said, neither of these guys has ever seemed enthusiastic about fighting the other. They've both been very dismissive about questions about fighting each other. So I don't know why either fan base is like, well, this is good. He beat Porter. In my opinion, I love Sean. A lot of people feel like he beat Porter, and a lot of people feel like he dropped Porter, even though Porter, especially in the podcast released today in the shop, Porter Talk, Porter Way, he feels like he didn't get dropped. The Porter Way podcast is good, y'all. Y'all should watch it. Okay, but they're already old. So what is it? What's the, fuck? They're both, to me, they're both just as guilty. But the whole one is scared of the other. I don't like that. I'm putting money on Ugas against Spence. Damn. I mean, he beat Pacquiao, and I wasn't expecting him to. So, if Ugas becomes undisputed, everybody's gonna, dude. Twitter. There's not enough characters on Twitter for what Ugas is going to be tweeting after he becomes fucking. Well, it's not for undisputed. It's for unified, right? Undisputed is with Crawford. But even if he does become unified by beating out Spence, we're gonna have to like mute him on Twitter because he's gonna be talking this shit. I'm going to the one in Vegas. Do you want to jump on? Let me know if you want to jump on, or if you're with your baby, or your baby can jump on. But I'm actually going to Vegas. I wanted to go to the one in Fresno, but the undercards, like whatever. I mean, they're both undercards. I'm gonna whack them, yeah. But I'm more intrigued to see Santa Cruz back, even though it's like he's back to just fighting his typical level of competition. And then Josecito Lopez, Riverside Rocky, kind of just more local. So that's what I'm gonna do. But let me know if you want to jump on Freddie. I never thought I'd say this, but I hope Ugas beats Errol for telling Bud to go get a belt than telling Bud I'd rather fight program. I don't remember that, but probably, yeah. I don't care. To me, I don't usually care who wins fights. This one's a good fight, but especially this one. I don't give a fuck who wins. If one guy beats the other, I'm not gonna like immediately tell the other guy like, oh, see, you suck. I feel like whoever wins is just the better fighter, but it doesn't mean that the other guy sucks. Like they're both great. Ooh, high five. Spence coming off his car accident to Danny Garcia, who's no pushover. Yeah, and who's bigger. Danny Garcia's bigger. Wait, no, they're about the same size because Errol Spence pretty big. Who's now coming off an injury? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why people are like talking shit. I don't get it. Ugas is like they're acting like Ugas is like fucking Adrian Granados or some shit, or fucking what's his name, the Figueroa older brother. Is Spence risking the payday by crowd? No, I mean, no, because I don't think they were gonna fight anyway, or like they were this. No. And also because, again, I don't think the fight was going to happen right after Errol Spence got the fucking eye, the eye stuff, but also, can y'all please not yell? Oh my God. Also, I don't think that's, like it doesn't make sense. A ver. Oh my God, I'm way behind in the comments. My bad. Spence should get at least, I think it should be 60-40 for Spence, because I do agree that he fought the better opposition. He fought the better names. But at the same time, like people are going to be angry about that. People are going to say, fuck that, I personally think Spence deserves a 60-40, but I feel like that's going to be the issue. That they're both going to want to get 60-40. Errol's going to want to get 60-40. Crawford's going to want to get 60-40. Crawford is the Hall of Fame? Nah, not yet, in my humble opinion. I'll think about that when he retires. Not right now. They fought Lewis 50-50. He not do that. Tired fought Lewis 50-50. It should be 50-50, but Ugas is the champion coming off. Ugas has earned that fight, and Ugas is not a pushover. And if he's trying to get a guy like Errol Spence coming off that long period of time where he didn't fight, like inactivity, it's a good, like, he has a good chance. Oh yes. Ugas got power, bro. Tough fight. I don't get. Yeah, to me that's a hard fight for him. I swear to God, I thought he was gonna come back to like some fucking B-level PBC guy. I heard once that it's off-field, bro. Oh shit! I didn't know that. Damn.
16 people in it.
Damn. That's a good fight. That's a good fucking fight. That's good. Like Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Have you talked about Puerto Rico? We did a little bit. We did a little bit. I think he looked great. I think Puerto Rico looked great. He looked much better than his March fight, and I think that had to do with the COVID diagnosis that he had earlier in the year. Figueroa was good at one point, but then he just kind of like se fue a la verga. I'm gonna free up and yeah, alrighty.
Tell me if you know
I got
this
Ugas
song.
also arrows. I think that's what especially after watching what Crawford did to Porter, and a lot of people weren't putting respect on Porter's name. Like I know people are like, oh well, he's lost to everybody in their prime, but he has never made it an easy fight. It's not like guys just dreamroll Porter. Like it's a great fight, and even the fights he's won, he's looked great, right? So I didn't get the disrespect for Porter. I think it's just like, okay, yeah, Crawford's, we can see that he's a better fighter, but we just needed him to prove it to us by taking on a decent name at 147, and I think he did, right? I think after that fight, that's when I told Miguel, I'm like, you know what, Miguel, I think that I have Bud beating Errol because I know Styles makes fights, but Crawford's just so much more calculated in his approach, and I feel like he would, in my opinion, he would be my favorite. But I don't think it'd be like an easy fight. I think it'd be an amazing fight, and I fucking hope it happens. Ugas has a great right for a southpaw. Yeah, I don't, and he just beat Manny Pacquiao, who had like beat Keith Thurman, right? And I think it was more like, okay, fucking Pacquiao hasn't fought also in a long ass time. Then activity, he's older, I get it, right? But damn, like why people act like both Porter and Ugas are like these bums? Like I don't get it. I was about to yesterday, but I'm gonna go to Fresno Card just sure to come. Yeah, it's close to you, and I don't know, dude. Did you get an interview with? Did you get an interview with Barrios? If you did, you should talk about it. Tell people to go to your channel, and if you don't, even then, like just fucking tell them. Yeah, Barrios is not that same thing with Barrios, right? Like I told you guys, good for him. He's gotten 3 pay-per-views in a row. Like that's fucking good. And also he's not a boring fighter. Like he knocked out the cowboy Carl, whatever his name is. Knocked him the fuck out. That was fucking entertaining, right? Before the main event. He did well against Tank, right before Tank knocked him the fuck out. So I feel like it's gonna be very similar in the Keith Thurman fight. He's not a boring dude, so Omar Figueroa defense looks like John Trump. Why are you like this? You're so rude. I'm gonna screenshot that because same. That's so dumb. You're crazy. That's why it should be 50-50. I think in all unifications fights, or it should be 50-50, but it's not realistic, right? Just like Canelo versus Triple G. I remember that was a big talk back then. Like, oh, Triple G should, like, morally, he should be the A side because he's been the champion for longer. He was the champion, like he had gotten more, like middleweight fights than Canelo. Like technically, he should have been the A side to a lot of people, right? Because he was the champion. But no, Canelo's like, I'm bringing most of the fans. Like, this is my fucking money. I'm gonna make the most money, right? I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Like I swear, I always thought that would be a close fight with him versus Errol, but it was that performance with Porter that I was like, fuck. I think I'm gonna have to give Crawford the edge. Going back on Thursday Planet. Okay. Yeah. So guys, follow Box Talk 101 because he's gonna have interviews with Barrios right before the fights next month. Well, no, February. So it should be good. You think Tank fights? I don't know. And if they are champs, I hope they're real champs, not like regular fans like him. No offense. I hope so. I hope he fights anybody that we are excited to see him fight, and I hope he fights somebody that we're like, this guy has a shot at beating Tank, right? Because we have never thought that. The champion used to make more than the challenger. Yeah. I don't know. Dude, I hate that stoppage too. Because I feel like not only I mean, I see it both ways, right? I feel like Sean Porter is not a quitter, and we've seen this throughout his entire fucking career. The man doesn't quit, and the man doesn't stop, and the man doesn't get, like he does. He's like an energizer fucking bunny, right? So I'm like, why the fuck would he stop it? He robbed, but also he robbed Crawford of a legit knockout or a legit stoppage. I feel like Crawford could have actually stopped Porter in a way that no one had. Because Crawford didn't stop Porter. Porter's dad stopped Porter. Right? And I feel like Crawford was robbed of that. Just like Crawford was robbed of a knockout against Amir Khan, right? Because Amir Khan is mañoso. I feel like Amir Khan did pull that shit because he's like, everybody else who I boxed, who knocked me out, I could say that I was outboxing them, right? With Canelo, I thought he was beating Canelo up until like the fourth round. So I feel like with Crawford, he didn't have that. He couldn't say, "Oh well, at least I was beating him before he knocked me out," because no, Crawford was making him look fucking stupid. So I think Khan robbed America. Amir Khan robbed Crawford of a knockout, and so did Sean Porter's dad, Kenny Porter. Like that's why I hate the stoppage, but also he protected his son, and Sean was already frustrated, and we saw the way he fucking when he got knocked down the second time, he like was pounding on the canvas, and maybe his dad took that as like, well, my son's already frustrated, he's just gonna go up there and try to get his ass beat, which I think that's what was gonna happen. So that's what I mean when he robbed, Crawford of that stoppage, that real stoppage, but he protected his son. The split is based on who can sell the most pay-per-view tickets and grabs the team. I think Errol Spence, because he fought Porter on pay-per-view, and he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao on pay-per-view. Jamal's supposed to fight Rolly in April. That's what when people keep saying about like, oh, rematch with Cruz or Devin Haney, I'm like, or Cambosos, I'm like, Rolly's still next. Like, I don't know why people are acting like that. It's dumb that they try to make it seem like they're doing like something about the allegations because Tank has allegations. Not just that, Tank's been to court. Like, Tank has multiple charges from women against him and shit that we've seen on camera. So the whole thing that they took Rolly out because of that is bullshit. So that's why I'm like, that's just gonna happen again. Like, Showtime doesn't care about that. They try to make it seem like they did, but they don't, because why is Tank still fighting? Like, they both have shit on they're both abusers. Like, why? I don't get it. Like, makes no sense. I hate the stoppage. I guess I think that's all of us, right? Like, we hate the stoppage, but we're like, well, that's his dad, He's gonna lose, no matter what happened. Who's gonna lose? It was a good stoppage. You're bloodthirsty. I don't think it was a good stoppage. And I don't think Crawford was just gonna knock Porter the fuck out. I think it would have just been a stoppage. Yeah, I think it's a terrible fight too. I think Rolly gets stopped in like 3 rounds. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe Freddie's gonna tell me I'm wrong. Freddie believes Rolly's gonna win, and maybe he's gonna make a big payday out of that. Maybe he's gonna make like a big payday. Can you talk like a 6-year-old kid who was just I don't know. Maybe I'm just I don't know. Because obviously Kenny Porter and Sean Porter have a good son and dad relationship, right? Like, clearly, because they've been together this whole time as trainer and son. But I would be so resentful to my dad if he stopped the fight of mine, especially my last fight. I'd be like, hell no, I'm going now swinging. The Crawford Porter fight. Crawford was going to hurt Porter real bad. Yeah, and it would have been a good statement to send. Yo, I think it would have been a good statement to send because nobody had stopped Sean Porter, but nobody had hurt Sean Porter like that. And I don't know, they were like knockdowns que, le dieron el pinche centazo, but also I feel like if he like wobbled him like to where, he's all, I think that would look so good. Imagine if Rolling Ugas put up, so we will never. I like upsets just so because it like puts the division in its head, and it teaches like fighters to not marinate fights. Like stop fucking marinating fights. Oh my god, I would I. mm. Let's talk about some real boxing. How about that Jake Paul guy or Chavez Jr.? They both got Chavez Jr. won in just like decision, right? I don't know who he beat. I know it was like in Latin America, and I know he was super happy in the picture when he won. But I didn't see the fight. I wasn't really interested in seeing the fight. But if the fight gets made with him and Jake Paul, I would dead ass love to watch that shit. Like I would be so happy. Oh my god. I'm gonna show you guys something funny that I just saw on my Twitter screen. Fucking Twitter never misses. So let me show you guys. It says what are they giving him in the corner? Wait, I can't even I'm not even sharing the fucking screen. What a dumb bitch. Okay. So look at they're giving him something apparently. Let's see.
Atentos con el seco. ¿Qué le está dando ahí? Como si fuera un pompazo. El Junior le pide otra vez, le da otro pompacito.
Le están dando
Atentos con
Vicks.
el seco. ¿Qué le está dando ahí? Como si fuera un pompazo. El Junior le pide otra vez, le da otro pompacito. Otra vez. Y listo.
I think that's just to clear his mocos, right? Because I'm assuming fighters get mocos in between fights, right? And I know that because when they get punched, se les sale el moco, like Amir Khan.
Y listo.
I think that's just Vicks.
Atentos con el seco.
What do you guys think that
¿Qué
is?
le está dando ahí? Como si fuera un pompazo. El Junior le pide otra
Doing
vez,
something
le
up
da
his
otro
nose?
pompacito. Otra vez. Y listo. Como nuevo.
I think it's just Vicks. I think it's just Vicks
Atentos
because
con el seco.
yeah, I think it's Vicks. Yeah, there's not much on Chavez Jr. I'll see he's happy. He's happy he won. Oh my god, finally a victory. Yay. But everything's just Jake Paul. Oh, what? Oh my god, Twitter's crazy. So there's no real footage that I can find. It's just pictures. But I mean, I guess. I think he was just getting Vicks up his nose. Rolling reminds me of Mark Wahlberg and other guys. Like he's always angry and confused. He choked in that press conference. He choked so bad in that press conference. He's like, "You got a big ass head." Like, okay, that's what you're. Bitch, come on. Chavez Jr. is just. We gotta talk about this in person. We gotta talk about your hatred for Benavides in person, okay, Matt? Let me just wait till I took 2 rapid tests and I came back negative, but I just went to a real testing site just to triple check. Because Texas, the whole fucking time I was watching Spider-Man over there, the guy next to me was like, ugh, ugh, and I'm like, I'm right here, dude. He's like, just, but like coughing my direction. I'm like, I was so fucking mad. And then, oh my god, we got harassed in Texas for wearing masks. I was just wearing masks because my kids are not yet vaccinated, right? I'm vaccinated, but not my kids. So like, I'm not gonna bring them shit, right? That's why I got like the 2 tests before I came over here. But the guy's like, I just walked into a bar and like the white guy next to us, like that we sat next to, he's like, "What's wrong? Why are you wearing a mask?" And I'm just like, and then in the Uber, like we went in and like we were going back to the hotel, and he's like, "Oh, you guys wear masks?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, but we don't. I don't care if you don't wear it. Like I'm gonna wear mine." And he's like, "Oh, you're one of those?" And I'm like, but other than people being weird about that, I don't care. Texas is pretty cool. Texas, the atmosphere is cool. White people bugging me about random shit, but I wish they minded their own business. Not that. To give respect to whoever does boxing out, I would never do it. And people ask me all the time, like, why don't you spar or why don't you train? I'm not getting signed up. I'm not signing up to get beat the fuck up. Like, I can fight somebody in the street, But I'm not gonna go in there with someone who's like tactical and has better angles to beat my ass. I'm not gonna sign up for that. Oh my god, with his coach, you should. Let's do it. He told me that it was nasal spray. He was going. Everybody, I feel like everybody's sick. Like even if it's not COVID, like it's the times when you have mocos. Like it's you have mocos in the winter. Like December is moco time. I literally have my halls like right next to me. And even when I was flying to Texas, like I took a test. I'm always testing because it's free over here. And I was like downing these bitches because I'm like, I don't want to cough and people think I have COVID. Like, why are you getting on a flight if you have COVID? I'm just like, tengo mocos. I don't know, the weather. I don't know. Me puse calcetines. Me puse suéter. Paul can, dude, if that would happen, that'd be so embarrassing. He straight picked his mocos. Chavez Jr. is a rich kid that you. Yeah, like, I wish I had someone pick up my mocos for me. There's these things that, like, the bulb things that suck your mocos out. That feels so fucking weird. I used it once. I did not like it. I could be selling salt, but there's no proof. Selling salt? Smelling salt? Selling salt? What is that? Travis Jr. Benavides had the most lit after. You guys are fucking rude, bro. Like, no se aguantan. No se aguantan. Smelling salt. But what is that? Like, what is that? I never heard of that. The only salt I've heard is bath salts, which is that thing that turned the guy zombie. But then again, it was in Florida. People over there are crazy. When it comes to press conferences, I don't get it. What? I lived in Dallas for 2 years. It was horrible. I've never lived there. I like the food. Like I like the barbecue I had, and like the atmosphere, like at the Riverwalk in San Antonio specifically, was nice. Um, but yeah, Texas don't give a fuck about, like, they're like Florida. They don't believe in COVID because when we went in March back for the Virgil fight, same thing. Like just me and my friend were the only ones wearing masks out to the bar. But back then I wasn't vaccinated, so I'm like, fuck that. I'm not. And I had already got COVID, so I did not like that. I don't want to get it again. I don't, especially with the new variant that's out, and I heard it's like super contagious. I'm not trying to get COVID again. That just sucked. I still don't feel the same. My lungs feel horrible still. I don't want to get more COVID. The nasal spray was approved with the commission and the opponent because they didn't want to fight. At that point, they're just like, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm pretty sure ¿cómo se llama? Billy Joe Saunders would be mad about this commission being okay with the nasal spray, but not the commissioner when he was supposed to fight Boo Boo. I love me some Chavez and Benavides, pucho pinche coquinca. You said it, not me. Oh my god! Why are you guys the way that you are? Why are you guys the way that you are? You know, I've never tried the white chalk. No me llama la atención. Like, no me llama la atención. I heard, like, people do it to stay awake and party longer, right? Without getting tired. It's okay. I'm washed. I'll take a nap. It's fine. Smelling salts used to help fighters oriented. Oh, they used to be legal? I didn't know that. I didn't know such thing existed. If I had the guts to do boxing, I would spar my 20. That's kind of rude. That after party goes no less than 3 days nonstop. Dude, I'm washed now. It's like 7 p.m. and I'll be like, damn, I'm tired. Like, I drink and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to go home. Like, it's not the same anymore. So I guess I would have to do the devil's chalk powder to be able to hang. But I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's definitely a weird situation with Chavez Jr. I've talked about it before, how I do feel kind of sorry for him because his upbringing must have been really stressful, especially being the son of a legend and then merging into boxing, right? And I feel like that has to mean so much pressure to somebody. But also, we can't sugarcoat the fact that Chavez Sr. was probably a horrible dad, and he was probably like horrible because he was always on drugs himself. Like, he was always on drugs. right? So imagine having like growing up with a dad who was a drug addict, and the whole country loves him. Like like I feel like that can be invalidating for you to feel a certain way about your dad and how he is and what he does, because the whole country loves him and he's a hero. He's a national hero. So I don't know. It's gotta be a little sad, I think. Omar has it a lot easier and he killed a guy. Bro, I forgot about that. Oh my god, I was watching this documentary on YouTube about it. How like oh fuck, I remember that. Jesus. And he does have it easier, but it's sad. Like Chavez Jr., I feel like I wish he would have stopped completely after the commissions banned him for smoking weed, which was stupid. I don't know why the fuck they suspended him for smoking weed. That's just dumb as fuck to me. But they did, right? And they made all these memes about him with a bong. I remember. I still remember those memes. They made a meme of him like with a bong. And I think that's when he should have been like, okay, I'll step out of the limelight, and now I'll do like the shit my dad does and be commentating and doing shit like that, But he continued, and it's even more of an embarrassment, and he's continuing now, which in my opinion is like, why? There's no redemption anymore. There's no redemption unless he came back 168, beat Canelo's ass. Chavez Jr. for Golden Boy, Billy Joe. Oh my god. You know what? That's true. Tyson Fury, a lot of people think he got like banned just for coke, but no, he was like on wild boar, right? Like he was also caught with some shit, some banned substance, and he blamed it on wild boar, right? Oh my god, you guys are rude. They put something in his mouth and snoring some. They put some snorting. Yeah, Saniso's performance was like one of my favorites of the weekend, and I think she deserves a main event spot, especially if it's unification, especially if it's here in LA. Chavez made millions after he got caught smoking weed. Yeah, but at what cost? Like, he's an embarrassment. I feel like he should just chill. And then he's like on Instagram posting like 100 million stories a day. Have you guys seen him? Do you guys follow Chavez Jr. on Instagram? I followed him after the Canelo fight, and all he would do was just post Canelo. Oh my god, guys, we're gonna watch this together, but on here we have to. It's fucking ridiculous. He was like, I remember when he like fought Canelo, he like was just posting pictures of the Canelo fight, even though he lost, and it's like, why are you doing this? Okay, let me share my screen, and we're gonna see this together because I think it will be a bonding moment for all of us here in this chat room. Right. Look at this man. Hold on. Let me put the. Look at this man.
Big Boss.
Look at this man.
Saludos. Hey, vamos a quemar con ropa. Armando, ponte unos saludos. Ay, monte la ropa. Alicenciado. Valle doble, como la del licenciado. Si hoy quieren
Party mode.
Les voy a salir.
He's feeling himself in those glasses. Those fucking that filter that he uses
Mi
on the
pelo,
eyes.
mi pelo.
That filter is fucking scary. He's like wide eyes.
You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot.
You're right. Those pretty. Sweet move. So that's all he's been posting, he posts. Oh, so he's obviously open to this. I would love to see it, and I hope it does happen.
Voy a la luna. ¿Quién va conmigo? No caben aquí. Pues los invito.
Oh, he's posting hot bitches? Okay. I respect it. So that is this man's. It's a roller coaster of a ride. Every time he posts a bunch of stories, I'm like, huh, what's he doing over here? Labor Spence setting up. I hope so. I feel like once, if it doesn't happen after that, then people can say some shit. And yeah, she fought in the Zurdo undercard on the Zone this Saturday. You can catch the replay on the Zone or on, I believe, YouTube already has some fucking highlights. Always snorting me with that raspado. His head looks like a raspado. Chavez kept on fighting because he gets paid. And he always will. But I feel like at one point it's exploitation. Especially promoters. Like, especially when I hear him put him on a card and I'm like, you're kind of exploiting this man's last name. I just feel, I don't know. Chavez loves even his haters. I was talking shit after he lost to Canelo and he's... He just wants attention, negative or positive. Which is, it's fair. He got that long-time addict in. Bro, I dance out of nowhere onto drugs, but you're right. Chavez Jr., he has a TikTok. I was today years old when I found out he had a TikTok. What does he do? Dance? Do TikTok dances? Oh my god. I had no clue that he had a TikTok, bro. No clue. I didn't know that. I don't see anything about him. I'm not in with the kids these days. Caleb Plant also posted moments he did. Yeah, the whole thing with Caleb Plant to me was strange. Like when he was trying to tell Canelo that he respected him in the middle of the fight, and it's like, oh, I'm not bad for 21-0, right? He's like, oh, I'm a good fighter. Like, bro, did your dad not fucking hug you? Like, why are you asking for validation from a fighter? Like, right? Weird and corny. Did it? Yes, he did. He got robbed by some escorts. They robbed him of his money, of his entire purse, supposedly. He should post those highlights. Y'all are so fucking rude. Caleb Plant, yeah, Caleb Plant looks like that guy that, like, if a girl was like, I'm taking a shower without me, that's what he looks like. Or the guy who, like, if you break up with him, he says he's gonna kill himself. That's what Caleb Plant, he seems like that type. He did that because it was weird. Like, I'm like, why are you doing that? Hi, Alejandro, by the way, ¿cómo estás? It was weird to me. And I know people are like, oh, how cool, I love it, or sportsmanship. And it's like, no, it's weird. Like, why is he doing this? Like, why is he... Like, I get after the fight, but even then, it's like, he was trying way too hard to, like, get Canelo to compliment him. Like, give him a little pat on the back. Which he think it was a decent fight, but I don't get the whole... Well, I'm good, right? I'm doing good. It's a good fight. I'm like, I wish they would have put the camera more on, like, his team when he was getting got, because that would have made me feel a little bit better. But hey, not a lot going on this next week. Not a lot going on the first month of the year, of the new year. But February seems to be a little bit better, right? I think the fight that I'm looking forward to the most, hopefully in 2022, if it happens, obviously everything that we've been fucking saying, Errol Spence versus Crawford, let's hope that it does happen towards the end of 2022. I would still like to see, Joshua versus Wilder, even though I know that Joshua supposedly is going to take that rematch clause with Usyk. That's what I want to watch the most. What do you guys, before we get out of here, this stream, what fight do you guys want the most in 2022? The top of my head, just Errol Spence but Crawford, hopefully at the end of the year. And yeah, they do. They have a fight card on the 25th and on the 1st. On the 1st they do as well. What other fight would I want? I don't know. I guess Fury versus whoever wins of Wilder versus of Usyk versus Joshua. If they fight a second time, just so that we can have more undisputed. Obviously, Charlo Castaño too. I'm excited for that. Um, no, well that canceled because Japan's not having any new people go in because of COVID. Japan actually takes action when they have a case, so there's no one going in or out of Japan. That's why the Triple G card got canceled. That was supposed to be on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, and it's not happening anymore because of the COVID variant. The new Canelo Bernabiev is a good one. I would love to see that shit. I think that would be hard for Canelo, though. I think after this fight, I don't think Canelo's like, let me fight this fucking Russian who was bleeding buckets and was still coming forward. That was scary as fuck. Did you see Tails Daddy for the Cambodia side? We're not Berlanga, we're not Vargas. That man is a weirdo. Well, I will be at a lot of fights 2022. So if you're at a fight, all you gotta do is message me on my social media. I'll take the comment off, but my social media is down here. Message me on whatever you follow me on, and I met up with people on Saturday that follow me on here, or follow me on Twitter, or follow me on Instagram. I'm for sure gonna be at Keith versus Barrios, but I'm gonna try to go to more fights.
I got them back.
I'll be there, love. Yes. So say hi. I'm gonna be there for sure. Thurman versus Crawford. If Crawford wins, what do you mean? After he beats Errol Spence? Dale Senior was trying. Dale Senior's on. He must be on something. I want Lightweight to be at least more cleared up. Yeah, for them, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But all these guys are kind of just being like whatever, like, and they're all on different promotional like standpoints. So I honestly don't think we get any of these guys fighting each other. Not even in 2022. Like, I don't think these guys fight each other. Oh, if Thurman wins. But then he would have to wait longer. No, well, because that's until February. So I feel like he would have to wait longer. Hi, Miguel. I was just telling everyone how we're going to Thurman versus Barrios. Yes, Chang versus Loma. That would be good, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Tank has ever wanted to fight Loma. He's been on record saying he doesn't want to. He never wanted to fight him. Mayweather's on the record saying they wouldn't fight Loma. Hopefully now it's changed now that Loma was beat by, he got beat by Teofimo. So hopefully that happens. Benavides versus Darren Williams with the Benavides versus anybody competitive. I would like, because we forgot to say that he's fighting David Lemieux. Did y'all see that? David Benavides versus David Lemieux. David versus David. Mexican versus Canadian. David versus David. I don't get why Benavides versus David Lemieux was a thing that the sanctioning bodies felt it was necessary. But apparently that's what we're getting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because Ryan just wants to like fucking piggyback off Cruz's success with Tank so that when he knocks out Cruz, you could be like, see, Tank, I knocked him out and you didn't. Versus the Ghost. Dude, remember when David Lemieux fought Triple G and he had that little hair, looked like Phil and Lil from the Rugrats? And he kept getting his fucking hair fucked up. Every time Triple G landed a punch, his hair would be like... That was so fucking distracting. David Lemieux straight up look at the fucking ref like, save me. Like, stop this fight, bro. What are you doing? With Triple G. And then with BJ Saunders, he looked horrible in his own hometown. Like, he just fucking looked horrible in his own hometown in Canada. So David Lemieux, no, it's happening. The sanctioning body said, yeah, so I don't get it. I'm serious. He looked like he was like, he dead ass looked at the ref like, bro, what's taking you so long? Stop this shit. Can't you see me get my ass beat? I think Benavides versus Lemieux for the Benavides for regular titles, regular WBC, regular WBA. Which one is it? I think I don't know. WBC, right? I don't know. Point is, it's dumb. It's a stupid ass fight. I want to see Benavides against someone that's like, wow, like that's a good fight. Like him against Caleb Plant. Still make that. They both, they're both not champions anymore. Fuck it, make it happen. Why not? I've always wanted to see that Plant fight. Other than that, who else? I don't know. I'm not. Yo no hago lonche. I don't wake up at 5 in the morning to make lonche. I don't do any of that. So don't shoot your shot at me. I always wanted to see. Bro, you're so rude. I think that would be like an interesting fight actually, Benavides versus Plant, because they don't like each other, right? Like they dislike each other, they hate each other. So, David, he has like good output, good combinations, fast hands, but Plant is more on the tactical side. So how would Benavides do against that? I don't know. That'd be a good fight. So yeah, those are the fights that we kind of have going on for us in 2022. Doesn't seem very hopeful, doesn't seem very amazing so far, but hopefully throughout the spring we get some better stuff going on.
Yeah, there's always a bunch of people running here.
You're going to kill me with these. As someone who was in Zoloft, I get it because the world on Zoloft is watered down.
Sorry guys, my necklace got
What?
stuck.
How? He just comes forward. Benavides is fast and he has fast combinations. He does, but he's so robotic to me. He literally goes up like this. That's how he comes at you. He's like just fucking fighting forward. And he gets it to, I don't know. I feel like if you hit Benavides to the body, it's gonna hurt him because he was a former chubby. He was a former chubster. And I feel like his stomach is always gonna be soft. I feel like you would just have to target the body with Benavides and like get there. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being. I think it'd be boring. Plus, at least para los chingazos. That's like white people after drinking 5 Applebee's Dollaritas. Listos para los chingazos. Benavides sleeping Plant. Dang, you guys have no faith in Plant. Sleeping them? I mean, it would be cool if he slept him because then it'd be like, look, Canelo, I actually slept him. You just knocked him out. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I don't know. Plant doesn't have the conditioning. Huh. I mean, I guess you could say that because he before the I mean, I guess. I feel like I would favor Benavides, but not by a lot. And to me, it would be more like either Benavides is knocking out Plant, or Plant's just like gonna outbox him for 12 rounds. Like that. That would be like either or scenario to me, But I don't know. He could do it. Might not be likely, but he could drop him cold. When was the last time Benavides dropped somebody cold, though? You know what I mean? When was the last time Benavides knocked somebody out cold? Like cold. I don't think that recently. Benavides has like not the best defense. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have defense like that. Benavides is strong. He hits hard and throws a lot of. He does throw a lot of punches. He's good with his combinations and he's fast and he has pop behind his punches. But he doesn't. I haven't seen him knock somebody out that way like that. And I think Plant has a good enough technical style to where Benavides has not fought anybody with that kind of style, and they would make it interesting. You know what I mean? Like Plant would make it interesting because we haven't seen Benavides with guys like Plant. We see Benavides with guys who we know are gonna be there to be hit. I don't know. I hope we find out. I hope we fucking find out in 2022, right? I'm gonna try to make a video this week, if not next week, before the end of the year, just ranking my favorite fights of the year and my favorite knockouts, because I'm not gonna use the word top because I would get dragged for my picks. But I'll probably make my favorite, and then I'll make probably a list on like fights I want to see in 2022 and why. Even though I kind of talked about my hair, but maybe just something like that. A dude that doesn't defend versus a dude that only defends. Benavides will kill Plan. Okay, you said it. We'll see. And I don't know. I hope not. I mean, right now he doesn't have a belt, so what does he care? If there's a time to do it, it's now. That he doesn't have a belt, so that he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't have a belt. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But hopefully, when he gets a belt, he doesn't anymore. Does that make sense? Benavides has fought a little bit. I agree. I think his best win is Durrell, and I agree. I think he doesn't have the best caliber of competition with that. I agree, but at least he's beating the guys that he's supposed to beat. You know, Durrell is his best win. I gotta agree with that. John Love was a good win too, and then what was the other guy that he like folded? What's his name? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like that guy. What's his name? He folded him with like, what's his fucking name? Se me olvidó. Aiden. I forgot. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? I think that's what I was like. Oh, this kid. But you know, Benavides also has been down before. Don't forget, Benavides has been dropped before. So
I thought you meant like to kill him. Like that's how you get.
I had a rematch with that was Durrell. No, didn't he have 2 fights with Durrell? Or no? I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. Corky Medina. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Matt. When he beat Corky, I was like, oh shit. Like, this kid, you know, he seems promising. And he does. And to this day, I feel like he does seem promising. I just want him to fight someone that I want him, that we will see like, oh, you know, like it's going to be a difficult fight for Benavides. And I don't think we've had that ever. He's only 25. Yeah, I think we forget that he's so young because he's had so many fights already, and he was champion so young. Wasn't he champ at like 19 or some shit? He's a 2-time champ, and I guess he can become a 3-time champ, but it's not going to be as impressive because he lost the first time because of drugs, and the second one he lost to the scale. So when you say Porky, Porky Medina, he didn't like. I guess if you were a 3-time, I don't know. To be a 3-time world champion, it sounds good, but when you realize that it was because he lost to the scale and to drugs, you're like, is it as impressive to say you were a 3-time world champion? I mean, it still look good on your record. It still says you're a 3-time world champ. So, but yeah, I hope he does find his discipline. Right? Good. I hope so. So that we can see the good fight. Abage was what I was talking about. Is that a bug? Point is, I hope Benavides gets his shit together. I'm gonna get you a third. I guess. But if I ask for credentials and I get them, I don't think that I'll make them right now. I'm getting off. Say bye to everybody.
Bye.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to make a video, but other than that, follow me on social media. Follow me on social media and tell your friends to subscribe to my channel. And yes, all of that. You guys already know the spiel, okay? I'll talk to you later. Thank you guys for being here. Obviously, every Tuesday, I like talking boxing with you guys. I usually don't have anybody else to talk boxing with other than Miguel, but he's working 25% of the time I'm awake. So let's just thank you for everything. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Follow me on social media and tell your friends to follow me here on the YouTubes. Okay.